Hello, everyone. This is Educate Yourself, and I'm here to introduce science. So basically, Educate Yourself is to bring like homemade videos to help the community with educating themselves to prepare them for like GED testing, or if they need help just to have the right tool to tutor their children or to help their children with their homework, or to just be more skillful in their current job or career. So, as I was saying, that we are introducing science today. And basically, what is science? Okay, science is observation or tests used to understand everything in a universe. Okay, it includes how the world function, nature, space, and the human body. So science observe and test everything that exists in the universe, so we can have a better understanding of it. Okay, so science means knowledge in Latin. Okay, so it's basically knowledge, getting knowledge or information about something. And scientist, which is an individual or person who finds out new things about or a new discovery about something. Okay, so this is a scientist. Okay, so today we will talk about the scientific method, which is one of the method that a scientist use in order to develop or find a new information about something, like or discover a new idea about something that exists in this world. So basically, the scientific method is forming a theory, which is also known as a statement or an assumption, and basically it's in doing experiment to test that theory. Okay, and then the test will then prove if the theory is true or false. So a scientific method, it forms a theory, explain, and also it does several experiments to test that theory, and then it will test if it's the test will then prove if the theory is true or false. Okay, so over here I have the scientific method chart. Like from far away you can't see it, but I put it in the beginning all the way to the end, so you can see how it laid out. And I'm just going to zoom in closer to each section so you can see how to lay out the scientific method, you know so you can have a better idea. Okay, so right here it says the chart for scientific method. The first part is question. So the first thing a scientist does when they are trying to figure out something about or an idea or an assumption or theory is that they form a question about the idea or the assumption that comes to mind. So I just put like a example about something that we already know, but just make believe that this is something that was in question, or maybe something that is new to someone that doesn't know this information. So the question I have is, does sugar dissolve faster in hot water as opposed to cold water? This is the question that we have in mind today. So we'll put it in the question box, which is the first step to doing a scientific method. Okay, the second part of a scientific method is background research. So once you finish posing the question, now you need to do some research. So in the background research, you find some facts or information about the different types of sugar, or you can find the temperature of the water when the sugar dissolves. So basically you can make some research and find, because we have different forms of sugar. We have brown sugar, we have fine sugar, we have organic, we have different type of sugar. So we can find out some facts about it, what it is composed of, and how does the hot water reacts to the sugar, as opposed to the cold sugar. Okay, so we can just giving you an idea about it. Okay, and the third step in the scientific method is the hypothesis. And hypothesis make an educated guess about what will happen in your experiment. So, for example, I can say sugar will dissolve as the temperature of water increase. So this is what I predict will happen in the experiment. So that's what a hypothesis does. The third step is to just make an educated guess. Okay, so the next step in forming a scientific method is to test the hypothesis. So test whatever you think that will happen. So I did say that as the temperature of water increase, that the sugar will dissolve. So in the hypothesis, I will perform an experiment to test the hypothesis, and it is advised to repeat the experiment to get the same result in order to be assured that this is the right result. So I have like on this side I have a cup of hot water and a cup of cold water, and those little dots, I don't know if you can see, I'm not a good artist, but I have like this representing the granulated sugar going into the cup, and basically it can like you can observe to see how fast that the sugar melt in the hot water cup as opposed to the cold water cup. And you could do it the opposite way, where you have the sugar in the cup, those dots representing the sugar, and you have the cold water, the little wave representing the water. You have the cold water going in on this cup, and then the hot water going in on that cup, that showing you if it makes a difference if the sugar goes first or the sugar goes after the water as it disintegrate. And then you can even use a timer to time it to see to get a accurate second or time frame. Okay, so this is the next step, the fourth step that we just reviewed. So the next step is the result. So after we test the hypothesis and we want to know what is the result of this, okay, what did we find out through the experiments? So the result, it proved the question to be true or false. So basically we can get like an answer to answer our question. So the next thing the result do, it explain in details what did you analyze during the experiment. For example, I could say, as I pour the hot water, I noticed sugar dissolve within 30 seconds as opposed to cold water, which takes about 1.5 minutes for sugar to dissolve. So I just use that as an example. For the sake of the video, I would do an experiment, but it would take a little bit longer than normal. And I did promise to keep the video short, especially for busy people, who doesn't have time but would really appreciate the knowledge, So that's why I just use that as an example, that it would take at least, within 30 seconds for hot water to dissolve as opposed to cold water, which takes about 1.5 minutes for the sugar to dissolve. So this is how you can, set up your facts or your result in the result box. And then the last and final step in the scientific method chart is the conclusion. So the conclusion is the statement that includes the original question, and it also have the result from the experiment, the negative or the positive outcome, and then you put it all together to conclude the original question that you had in the beginning. So I have here on the bottom, it says, then this then becomes a new discovery which other scientists can use as a foundation to investigate furthermore for new ideas regarding the same topic. So basically, being able to have a conclusion with the original question in mind, and also have the negative or positive outcome of the experiment is able to help other scientists to develop more ideas about the same topic in depth, so they can have another discovery about the same topic. So at the bottom I have the example of the conclusion from the experiment that I have up in the result box. I said in the conclusion, I conclude that sugar dissolve at X second faster in hot water than cold water. So this answer the original question that I had on top. The sugar dissolve faster in hot water as opposed to cold water. So this is actually the answer to the original question that I had in the beginning. So that's how scientists come up with their with the answer to the experiment, or if they had an assumption about something. So that's why they discover new things every day. So basically, what is the benefit of studying science or of science in general? The number one benefit is it helps you understand the world that you live in. So we all was born in raised in this world, and we need to know information about the world in order for us to live and function better. And the second thing, the second benefit of science is studying careers of science origin. It challenges you so you won't get bored, because there's always a new discovery, there's always something to find out. And us as human beings, we like to know things, we like to know information, we are curious by nature. So this is a very good subject, or a very good career to go into as a scientist or with a science origin. And the last thing that is a benefit of being of studying science, or being a career that originate in science, is it challenge you, it challenge tradition or what is normal, and you get to the facts of everything. So basically, anything that you see is a normal way of doing something, you always try to find out another way, or you always trying to find out, is this the fact about that specific thing that everybody's been doing. So this is what scientists are like. The scientists likes to know things and find different ways, so we can have like a new idea, and also maybe that will help us to to have a better life by doing something in a different way, or making it easier by doing a different experiment to find out a new way to do it. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So this conclude the lesson for today. So today we talk about what is science, and we find out that scientists like to understand everything about the universe, and the scientific method is one of the way that they find out their information and test it. And then we have the chart here that we start all the way from the beginning to the end in details about it. And I did tell you the benefit of studying science, or the benefits of science in your life. So thank you for watching. Educate yourself. Again, education is the brain power, so charge it daily. Bye bye. God bless.